Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick demo here of how I'm using my disaster area controllers. What I've got here is a DPC-5. This is going to be acting as the master, and then I've got a DPC-8EZ, and that is going to be acting as a slave. So what's happening is all of the presets and all of the control is going to be done here, and then this is going to control itself and the other disaster area device. So let's go ahead and get started. What I'm going to do to start, so both of these devices are currently in a manual mode. We can sort of audition loops one at a time. That's my POG, by the way. So, alright. So just to give you an idea what's going on there. What I'm going to do is get to a mode that stores presets. So there's three modes: red, green, blue. I'm going to go with the blue mode, and then within each mode there are 4 folders. So I'm going to use the green folder. Blue mode, green folder. So we start here in preset mode, press and hold the B6 button. So we're now into a programming mode. So with the programming mode, I'm going to activate the loop or loops that I want to be part of this preset. So I want the SP compressor and the POG to be part of this preset. These switches here, there's actually nothing connected to them, so they're going to stay off. So at least for this controller, that's the setup I want. Loop 1, loop 2. So we'll get to this controller in a minute, but let's just concentrate here. So, alright, I've got the preset set up the way I want it. Now I'm going to press and hold any of these buttons here to go into a save mode. Again, it could be any of them. I'm just going to press and hold one. So we're now in a save mode, and I know that because this is flashing. I can save to any mode. I'm going to cycle through them. Again, I said I wanted to save to the blue mode, to the green folder. That's where we're at. Blue mode, green folder. The last thing to do to actually save the preset is then to press and hold the loop or the button where you want that preset to be stored. This is the first tone or sound of the song, so I want it to be preset 1. So I'm going to press and hold button 1. So we're now saved. Now I've got to get out of the programming mode. I'm going to press and hold B6 again. And I'm now in operational or performance mode. So we saved it to blue folder, green. If I select preset 1, what's going to happen, you're going to see those two flash real quick. It tells me what loops are on. Then it reverts back to here to tell me that I am on preset number 1. So when I go to preset 1, by the way, if it's engaged, if I hit it again, it'll bypass. So everything is bypassed right now. If I turn it on, by pushing that one button, it actually activated both loop 1, loop 2, the compressor and the POG. Okay, now we can focus on the finishing up the other part of the sound. So what we're going to do is in manual mode here, I'm going to leave this in manual mode all the time. And one advantage of that is you get the best of both worlds. In manual mode, you can see which loops are active, but it will also still receive MIDI controls from the master, which is my DPC-5. So the MIDI controls always trump everything. So if I send a MIDI program here, this will get set up accordingly. If I then go ahead and kick some things manually off and on, that's fine. But if I come back and kick a MIDI preset again, whatever manual changes I've made get lost, and we go back to the stored preset. So that's kind of cool. So what I'm going to do is set this up to finish the tone. So the rest of these pedals here are actually running off of this DPC-8Z. And I know that what I want as part of this sound is I want this loop, which is my EP booster. And then to finish this off, I've got to go up to the top, or the green row here. So I push this button. I'm now on the top row. I want my line 6 M9 over here to be part. And then finally I want an R3FX super clean boost. I don't know if you can see it in camera shot. It's up in the top left hand corner of my board. So that's how I want this thing programmed. So what we have to do now, I'm going to bypass and this will make sense here in a second. I've got to get out of this active preset, so I'm just going to bypass. You notice that it bypassed everything here. If I turn this on, I lose all my changes, so I've actually sort of done this out of order. Let's do that again. I'm going to put it in bypass mode. I'm going to activate the loops that I want, and you'll see why in just a second. Okay, so that's how I want this controller set up. So what I do now is I put this into like a learn mode, push and hold B4. This light over here starts flashing. It turns like a violet or purple color. This is now in learn mode. It's waiting for a command, and I'm going to send it a command, and the command I'm going to send is activate loop 1. So that's why it's important to have this bypassed first, because when I activate, it's going to send a MIDI PC and then activate the loops I had. So let's try this. Push that. You see a bunch of flashing. That means this thing learned. This thing sent a MIDI control, activated the loops. Everything's set up. So let's try out that sound real quick. Hopefully I did everything right. Okay, I like that. So one preset done, one to go. So the next part of the song has just a little solo or lead line, and we'll get that programmed in. So preset number 2. So again, we start in a preset mode here, like we are. We hit B6 to go into programming mode. Right now, currently, loops 1 and 2 are active. For this tone, I want both of these to be off. So I'm going to turn them off. And that's how I want preset 2 to look. So again, now we're going to save. So to go to save mode, press and hold any one of these. Again, this is all documented very well in the documentation, so I'm going through a lot here, but no problem. Press and hold any one of these buttons. I'm just going to choose 2. Press and hold that. Starts flashing. I still want to keep it in the blue mode, green folder, but preset 2. So press and hold button 2. And there we go. I've got to get out of this save mode. I'm going to push and hold B6. I'm back into preset or performance mode, as I like to call it. So I want to get so blue mode, green folder, preset 1, blue mode, and preset 2. Remember I mentioned when you push a button, you see real quick which loops are active. So I'm going to, when I press preset 1, you should see loops 1 and 2 light up momentarily, and then they'll go off. It tells me that I'm in preset 1. I can verify the tone. So this is preset 1. Preset 2. Quite a difference, so you can tell. So it's kind of cool what's happening just by pushing, going from preset 1 to preset 2. I'm actually turning off 2 pedals with 1 button, so that's kind of cool. Alright, so again, we have to finish the other half of this. Let's see. Remember that I want this to be in the bypass state so that we're going to activate it. It's going to send the PC control or the MIDI PC message and light up the loops here. So I've got it bypassed. I got to get things set up over here. The only thing I want going on over here for this tone is I want the EP booster to be on, and that is that loop right there. So I now have this controller set up the way I want it for this preset. I'm going to push and hold button 4 to get us into a learn mode. Learn mode, this is flashing. It is now waiting for a command from the master. So I'm going to activate loop 2. This tells you that a command was received. You saw that flashing. Now it's saved. So this is kind of cool. When I bypass this, it's going to bypass everything. So everything's bypassed now. So let's give it a whirl. If this works, I should have 2 tones programmed in for this song. So part of it is, first tone I want is the swell. I'm using my volume pedal, and then the second part is kind of this lead picking part. So here we go. All right, that's actually I've got everything bypassed, so that is not correct. So I want to turn on tone 1. Here we go. So it's working 2 completely different tones. So this is the swell tone. This is the little lead tone. So there's a lot going on with this one button press. This one button here is turning off a compressor, turning off a POG, and then it's turning on an EP booster here, turning off the line 6M9 to kill all the delay and reverb and whatnot. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to ask me any questions. Have a good night.